For 25 years, CLUE has been at the forefront of the social justice movement, bringing together faith communities, leading coalitions, and supporting unions to improve the lives of low-wage workers, immigrants, and communities of color. This synergy allows us to effectively build a more equitable and humane society. And you fuel this life-saving work. When you walk with CLUE, you act in solidarity with workers and immigrants, calling on lawmakers and employers to enact policies that lean into equity and compassion over economics and profiteering. And you make visible the suffering of marginalized people so it can be addressed and ultimately eradicated. Earlier this year, when COVID-19 became a reality here in Southern California, I knew that CLUE would play a vital role in advocating for those most impacted. Before we even understood the scope of the pandemic, we did know one thing: low-wage workers, immigrants, and communities of color were going to be hit hardest. And that is exactly what is happening. Now, in this moment in history, many are acknowledging another pandemic that has been with us for hundreds of years: institutional racism. There is no denying that we are living through an unprecedented time and a period of great unrest. But I believe that this is also a moment to have hope. As we move together through these two crises, CLUE's interfaith work will continue to build bridges across belief systems and boundaries to demand justice and equity for every person. Because we know that we are all children of God who deserve to live with safety and dignity, regardless of where we were born or who we love or the color of our skin. We are here to re-envision our systems so that they allow all of us to thrive. And right now, I want to introduce one of our amazing faith-rooted organizers, Pastor Q, who's going to talk about our racial justice work.
My name is Pastor Q, of course, from the Church Without Walls in Skid Row, and I'm also a faith-rooted organizer with CLUE and have been for a number of years. I want to talk about CLUE specifically and the work that we have been doing as it relates to social justice. So I am the convener of the Black and Brown Clergy and Community Coalition for CLUE, and it's where we attempt to bring Black and Brown communities together to actually fight for the things that that adversely actually affect both of our communities. And we've been in solidarity doing that work for a long time. And then, of course, we've got the Black Jewish Justice Alliance, and I'm a co-convener of that as well. I'm also with a member of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. And so I've been in the midst of the work this whole time. A couple of weeks ago, we did a funeral procession, rally, and memorial for George Floyd. We continue to do that work, reimagining public safety, divesting from militarism, and investing into our communities. And that's what we're working towards now. There's a reason why you don't see communities like Irvine and communities like Beverly Hills. The reason they don't have a high crime rate is because they have the resources that they need. The schools are well funded. They have good jobs, right? They have health care. So the crime rate, of course, is going to be lower in this communities. And we're saying we want our communities to be the same way. And so that's what we're fighting for in this moment in time.
2020 has brought three important issues to the forefront that CLUE has been working on for over 2 decades. First, the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor have incited protests against structural racism and demands for defunding the police. We need to continue speaking truth to power, support calls for defunding racist institutions, and invest in social solutions that work. As people of faith, we believe in care, not cops. We believe that the police should be the last option. Second, COVID-19 has exacerbated and exposed the disease of capitalism and forced our elected officials to enact temporary measures to protect workers. We must demand that these protections become permanent fixtures for all workers now and for generations to come. And finally, the Supreme Court recently affirmed the DACA program, allowing undocumented youth to remain in this country. CLU must continue to fight for comprehensive immigration reform for all immigrants. 2020 has sparked resistance and creation, and we must seize on this time to expand on our anti-racist, anti-capitalism foundations and continue leading the fight for a more just and sacred society. I want to thank our incredible sponsors and donors who make this work possible, and the CLU staff and board for their dedication and vision in this moment. Today, you are going to hear personal stories about the power of working together to make justice a lived reality for everyone. We hope you will give generously to help sustain this life-changing work for years to come. Thank you so much for being clergy and laity united for economic justice.